right at the very beginning. The first chapter is about Eve, and what really jumped out at me was her statement, "As a daughter of Eve, I'm infected with a desire to control." Shannon went on to say, on page 51, "My culture may cheer me on when I'm pushy, independent, demanding, and domineering, but when I turn on my heels and bring these attitudes to my marriage or other relationships, I inevitably drive in wedges. The more controlling I get, the less happy we all are. God provides a better way." So a little bit about me. About 12 years ago, my husband and I were going through a divorce, and we separated for 2 years. Long story short, after a lot of ugliness and trying to control each other, God got a hold of both of us, shook us around a bit and woke us up and decided that we were going to follow his plan for our marriage. We've now been married for close to 22 years. So having been someone that almost lost my marriage, I could really relate with this statement. God restores marriages like mine, but what about our culture? And what about women? The first time I read Shannon's words on page 51, I had just received an electronic copy of her first 3 chapters. Thank you. At that time, we were in the midst of the November presidential election. I was really struggling with my choice and the dramatic differences between the beliefs of both of our candidates. And I started to think, I know now that God is in control of my marriage, but does the world know that he's in control of it all? Fast forward to January, and I just received Shannon's actual book in my hands. It was so awesome to have that book in my hands. And it was Inauguration Week. I was again struggling with what's going on in our nation, especially with women, and I read the words on page 51 again. "My culture may cheer me on when I'm pushy, independent, demanding, and domineering, but when I turn on my heels and bring these attitudes to my marriage or other relationships, I inevitably drive in wedges. The more controlling I get, the less happy we all are. God provides a better way." This was really bugging me this time because not only can I not control my family, I can't control my outside relationships or even our world. I can't shake the world like God shook me when he slapped me in the face with some things that I really needed to let go in my marriage. When I shared these concerns with Shannon, she mentioned there was a lot of discussion on what to include or not to include in this chapter, but she felt it needed to be in there. She knew God meant it for someone. For me, it was God's plan is bigger than anything and everything that's going on in our world right now. By trusting him and letting go of any control I might think I might have in this situation, it allows his work to be done. Whatever side of the political table you sit on, we have a choice. We can do a number of control things. We can get angry, we can be anxious, be worried, stressed out, or fight. Or we can simply trust and listen to what God is asking us to do. In this chapter, Shannon asked us to compare Colossians 3:12-15 to our closest relationships. "Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. And over all these virtues put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, since as members of one body you were called to peace, and be thankful." After reading this and talking with Shannon, I was reminded about timing, God's timing. I remember reading those words on page 51 for the first time in November and thinking, wow, Shannon couldn't have known the timing of this book. She wanted and even expected the book to be written 2 years ago, published 2 years ago. God's timing is perfect, and how relevant his timing is. Ladies, God is in control.